we will see the agenda. Okay, this is the agenda. Okay, I'm just to cover JS's Next.js application, and I'm going to show okay how to set up. Okay, I'm not going to set up here because it will be time consuming. Okay, that's not a real agenda of um, this particular session. And the disconnected and connected mode, and I'll explain that. And we have a pre-render methods, server side rendering and static side generation, and we have a uh, layer service methods like REST or GraphQL, and we will cover that part. And let's then we will move to the experience editor and how to set up the experience editor, and I will show the demo. And I'm just going to walk through how the APIs are integrating in Next.js with the experience editor, and what are all the features are available for this experience editor, particularly in Next.js. And so finally, we will see some debug point of view. I'll just go through the every aspects of this particular experience editor things. Let's move on to the next slide. I will not maximize this slide because I need to jump into the browser and this particular slide. So I hope okay this is very much visible to everyone. JS, this is the Next.js application I just going to walk through. Okay, we have a Jamstack approach enabled long back in the Sitecore. We have the other frameworks as well, like Angular, Vue.js, and React. The Sitecore supported through the JSS. Currently, there is a Next.js in trend because Next.js has some beautiful features on top of the React. So Next.js is not a separate framework or something. Okay, Next.js is developed on top of the React framework. So currently, Sitecore started supporting this Next.js frameworks as well. And let me directly jump into the how we can set up the Next.js application. I'm going to show one article. This is written by me. Yeah. Yes. Okay. When you started, we have to install that Sitecore JSS CLI. So this one, the first step, and once you install, okay, you can check okay whether the installation is successful or not through this command JSS slash hyphen help. And once you created, okay, once you installed this, then the next step to create the Next.js application. To create the Next.js application, you have to initialize the Node package module and npm init, and then Sitecore JSS. This is the name of the application, and the Next.js is the framework you have to mention. So likewise, okay, we have the other frameworks as well. I already told about the React, Angular, or Vue.js. So likewise, okay, we have supported now the Next.js as well. Once you've done this, it will be asking for some questions to set up through the configurations. So it will ask okay, whether you are going to create the Next.js template. Yes, okay, we have to give this, and then we have to give the path where this application to be created. So I have given like C drive, Sitecore, new Next.js, and Next.js. I will show the entire folder structure of this, and we have to give the name of the application, and next we have to give the up and running Sitecore host name. So before we move into this, okay, we should have the Sitecore is up and running in our system. So we have to give this particular host name over here. And the next one, this is the important one. Okay, we have to give the method. So how to fetch the layout and the dictionary data from services point of view. So for my case, okay, I have given the REST. So there is other option as well. There is a GraphQL schema as well there. And the pre-render application, we have to choose either SSR or SSG. SSR is a server-side rendering. SSG is a static side generation. So we have to give. So for my case, okay, I have given that SSR, and then we have to give the initializer. We have to select. There are the 4 options. Okay, we have to select the basic options for this particular basic implementations and all. and we have to give some additional language. So this is optional. Okay, we have to give some additional languages. Once we done that, we can it will be created the application in the respective directory. So go here and show you. This is the Next.js structure. So this will be created once you done all the questions was asked after that JSS initializer. And once you've done that, so this will be created, and let me open that in the Visual Studio. Visual Studio, if you see Visual Studio code, so this is the structure. I opened this particular local Next.js application here, and so it will be easily accessible, and we can change out whatever we want. So this is the IDE normally used for the Jamstack framework. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. So once we done that, we have to run, right? Okay, so we have now the applications up and running. Sorry, we have the application created locally, and we need to run that, right? So for running the application, we have two modes. So one is the disconnected mode, and the another one is the connected mode, the locally. The disconnected mode means, okay, we don't need a Sitecore instance up and running. For example, you can take this as a real-time example. If you don't have any Sitecore backend resources, or you don't have a, sorry, yeah, you don't have any other resources or something like, okay, there is no requirement is not finalized from the backend point of view, but you can still start with the your application, and you can still see the application in the front end side. And so for that, we have a disconnected mode. And the disconnected mode doesn't require a running Sitecore instance, and we can host our application in local environment, and we can see the local content data. So it will be supporting the code first approach. This is, and this will be working through the disconnected proxy mode. I will show that as well. So before that, let me open the Windows PowerShell. So for disconnected mode, okay, we can start the application by using this command JSS start. I already have a component attached with the disconnected mode. Um, so in the data roots, okay, we have the en.yml file. Okay, in that YML file is the main file for disconnected mode. Okay, here we have to give the placeholders. This is the default placeholder and the component name, as well as we have um, the component and fields, and what all the fields will be visible over there. Okay, I have already created one component called the demo component. So I already mapped with this en.yml. Yeah. So here, okay, we have to see something deeply. So this is the main one. Manifest has been generated and written to the Sitecore manifest Sitecore import.json. Okay, it is a nothing but, okay, this is the import API they call us, because we don't have right now the Sitecore running instances, right? And but we have the Sitecore import JSON. So this will be always storing the uh, Yeah. I think some weird things are happening. Okay, let me check. Okay, this is compiling right now. Okay, let me close this. Some problem occurring over here. Does that maybe let me come here? It was running perfectly before this. This is happening during the demo. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, let me check quickly.
It's fine. And if it's still that persists, maybe we can go over with that other part.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, so here the disconnected layout service is initializing. This is the thing, okay, I wanted to show. So the disconnected layout services, we need to understand, okay, where it is actually. So now compile successfully. Okay. Yes, and initializing, waiting, compiling. Yes, yeah, I think, okay. Yes, yeah, correct. Okay, got it. Yes, this is the local. Okay, I have one static carousel here in this demo component, and so that's why okay, it is showing from the disconnected mode. And so disconnected mode. Okay, I wanted to show one thing because that is very much required to understand how it is. And we have the scripts and we have the disconnected mode proxy.ts. Okay, if we keenly looking into this particular running logs, okay, see the disconnected layout service initializing, and the manifest manager is watching for the manifest source file changes. JSS disconnected mode proxy is listening. Okay, so this is listening whenever it is running the disconnected, whenever we go from the JSS start, okay, it is always listening this disconnected mode proxy. So I'm going to show, okay, now we have, we need to know the difference. Okay, I already have created the component and the component is and these are all the default component which was placed by the Sitecore from the vanilla instances itself. Okay, this is my custom component. I already placed with the demo component. So now I'm going to show the difference, okay, how it is looking when we go for the JSS start connected mode. So connected mode requires, as you see here, connected mode requires a running Sitecore instance. Okay, I have the running Sitecore instance here. This is my local Sitecore instance. Local Sitecore instance. So I already have the JSS Sitecore site, okay, created. And so I already have some components created over there. This is a home, and I have a home items, and home we have the presentation details. We will see there is a header and footer and a content block. This is the part of the home page in the Sitecore. I'm going to show and how this is working with the connected mode. And let me go here. Okay. We can use either a PowerShell or a terminal. Okay, I have some issue with the PowerShell right now, so I'm using the Visual Studio terminal. See, so here also it started. Okay, it is available in localhost 3000 port, and so here there is nothing showing like disconnected proxy, or it is watching the change from the disconnected mode or manifest. Nothing created because it is purely connected with the Sitecore. It is purely depend on the Sitecore component as well as the local component. So now I already showed the Sitecore. I have already created the two components like a header, footer, and the content block. So now we are going to see the difference in the local host. See, this is the header component, and this is the content block which was provided by the vanilla instance, and this is footer component I have. So now it is working through the connected mode. Connected mode is completely depending on the running Sitecore instances. And let's move on to the next one. Yeah. So next, we need to understand the server-side rendering and static side generation. So this is the pre-render method. Whenever we choose the SSR, okay, the app creation script itself created the function like get server-side properties. So if we go into the SRC pages and path CSS, path TSX, SRC pages, path TSX. Here we can see get server-side props because I have created the pre-render method as SSR. That's why it is created the get server side properties function here. This function gets called at the request on server side. Whenever we the request is going the runtime. Okay, so this is calling the get server side properties and getting the page data, and so this is the kind of a mediator here. So if we chosen the SSG static site generation, then it will be the different method like get static paths and get static props. So this will be differ. So depending on the SSG and SSR. And the next REST or GraphQL, this is really very much required for the communication because we have the Next.js application. It is running separately, and we have a Sitecore instance running separately, and we need a mediator or a communicator, right? Okay, for the communication is the service. So we have the Sitecore layout service. The layout service will support the two methods like REST or GraphQL. And GraphQL is sometimes okay, we will use the GraphQL for edge schema or something specifically we go into it. Okay, we will choose the GraphQL, but normally we will choose the REST API. And we can change this REST or GraphQL after the project creation as well. It's not mandatory to set it the correct one while creating. Okay, it's not mandatory. So we can change the REST or GraphQL later part of the project as well. And where we can change is, okay, we have the environment file. In the environment file, okay, we have fetch with. So this is a fetch with option. Okay, so here we have to choose either REST or GraphQL. So whenever if we give the GraphQL endpoint will work as a Sitecore API graph edge. So this is for the REST or GraphQL. and Experience Editor. I'm going to show one small demo to how the Experience Editor is working here. I'm going to create one new template. I created the template like Jaipur. Here I'm going to choose as a restrict data type and the location. So let me save this. I have created one basic template like Jaipur event, and we have a data section, and we have three fields, simple fields like name, description, and location. And let me create the renderings. The next part is we have to create the rendering. Rendering is the kind of important one to render the a component. So I'm going to create it. So I'm going to choose the JSON rendering because JSS, Sitecore JSS will support the JSON rendering because we have a number of features available here, the content resolver and the data source templates and everything will be here. So we have to choose the JSON rendering for the Sitecore JSS rendering. Here we have to choose data source template. I have created the template right just now. I have to map. Save it. Once I save this, okay, I need to map this particular rendering into the placeholder settings. I have the main, so I'm going to use the default main placeholder. Here, I'm going to this. I think okay, I have to change the name here. Here, allow controls. We have to give particular Jaipur event. This is just for selection from the experience editor. I will show where it is required. Yeah, once we done this, the next step to create a component. So component, we have to create it here by using the template which we created. Component name is here. The name is SUG Jaipur. Description. Architecture. Editors. Location. Okay, so I have created the component as well. It's the time to create the app root. So we have to create a app root as a page because here in Next.js, it is working as an optional cache root. Okay, that's why the template itself has created as an app root. So now I'm going to create the page, which is going to render. So the page is Jaipur. Just to give it. Okay. So I have created this Jaipur event page. I'm going to show now the experience editor of this. See, we have a main placeholder is already placed. Okay, we have three placeholder, but I'm going to play with the main placeholder here. This is a header already I have. Footer also I have with this, and we have the main placeholder. And now I'm going to add. So I created the placeholder settings, right? Okay, whenever we create the placeholder settings allowed controls, the whatever controls we have and sir we chosen, okay, that will be uh, available over here. So I'm going to choose the Jaipur event for my presentation. So here it will be asking for the component. You have to map the Jaipur event component. See, whenever we chosen the Jaipur event component in the experience editor, it is showing an error like a JSS component is missing React implementation. That means, so currently the this Sitecore, which is running in the JSS rendering, okay, it is expecting the component will be served from the JS application, that is a Next.js application. But somehow, okay, we missed to create the component in the Next.js application. I'm going to create it right now to enable it. There is a component. In the component, we have, I'm just going to create a simple component like. But this is very important. We have to give the name exactly same component name like Sitecore. I think okay, I have created Jaipur event component. Let me cross verify. It's- So the component name is Jaipur event component, and I created Jaipur event component. So for the demo purpose, I just copy and paste my previous code here. Naming convention I need to change. Yeah. So now we have created the Jaipur event component. I am recompiling this. So once I recompile, so this is gone because I did not save that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to again choosing the component. It should come. think something. Okay, maybe let me go and tag the other component. Maybe I have a the testing component, right? Okay, this is also created here. I think something is not syncing over there. So I already have a testing component like this, Jaipur event component, and testing component also have the same fields. And I'm going to create now this. See, so this one also, this was my earlier demo practice. Okay, so here also I have given the same value. So let me show here the testing component. Yeah, testing component name is here the SUG Jaipur, and here also description and location. This was my practice, but here something is not syncing. Okay, so now testing component I created here. Before I created this, okay, I was getting the same error. Okay, once I created this particular component, then it compiles and it is getting the data. So here I have the template in the component div text field, rich text field, and text field. So that is visible over here, and I can change whatever value here in the experience editor and the name or description or location. So it will be working with this particular syncing from the Next.js to the Sitecore. So then the question is, so this is our original agenda. How this is working? How this particular case of experience editor is working with this Next.js? Okay, this is our original agenda. Okay, so I'm going to show that. Before that, I will just explain in the layout service, we have the API key. So API key is the backbone of this layout service. Okay, how the communication is happening from here to there is the API key. API key will looks like yeah. So this is the API key. Maybe let me go and show you. This is the layout services. Okay, this is the API key. Where this API key is residing is. So we have to create one unique API key that is the communicator for the project. And we have the systems and settings, services, and we have the API key. So this API key I already created, demo JS's API key. So whenever we set up that JS's project, it will be asking some questions like API key and deployment secret. I will show that as well. This is the API key. This API key we have to give for this layout services, and the JSS, this is item ID we have to give. And I already created one new item, right? So the new item is Jaipur event. Give this, just remove this open parenthesis and close as well. Yeah, so this is the data it is giving us in this. If you closely see, and our data must be coming, and this is the Jaipur event value, and this is the page title, and likewise we have the other data as well. Okay, so once this data is coming through the surveys, and we have to see one important thing is a page editing equal to true. So I will explain why this is important. In this case, this is the diagram, how this experience editor is working. From here, whenever we have the experience editor up and running, so from there, it will be requesting to the render API route. There are the three API routes will be available in the Next.js. And here the API, three API route is, one is render API route, and second one is the data API route, and third one is the page route. So render API route. So this render API route, we will be setting this particular editing render in the server side endpoint URL as well. So where this is We have the Sitecore, we have config, and in this config will be created in the initial JSS setup. So in this setup, okay, we have the server side rendering engine endpoint URL. So this is nothing but the localhost API editing render. So first it will be calling this particular this experience editor to render API route. Render API route is available in this pages API editing render.ts. Pages API editing render.ts. See. So here it will come. So the first one is validate here. This image is somehow not visible correctly. And I will show. So I taken this particular image from here in the Sitecore document. I'll share this link as well. See, so first it will come to the render.ts file. So in the render.ts file, we have the editing render middleware, right? So this is the one route. Okay, this is the render API route. What it will do is first it will do the validate editing secret. What is the editing secret? Means, okay, we have one token created while setting up our JSS project. Step and go here. See. So I always saying that setup, right? Okay, this is the setup. Okay, while doing this JSS setup, it will be asking for the deployment secret. So deployment secret, okay, if we give empty, okay, it will be the created one a random deployment secret token key. Where it is residing is it will be residing in the environment file. The environment file, this is the editing secret we have to keep in our Next.js application. And this will be created in the config as well. We have one separate config, deployment secret. So this will be deployed into the backend. So backend, I have the backend code, which is running iNetwork. So here the app config include and Z. Okay, here also it will be there. The same key will be using over there in the app config Sitecore JavaScript services, because this will be running through the JavaScript services, right? These are all the JavaScript framework, Next.js, React.js. We have to configure this as well. Here we have to give the JSS editing secret. This key will be pasted over there. This particular key, this particular value, and the whatever there in the Next.js application, this environment file, Sitecore API key, it should match. So if, sorry, this one, this should match. Okay, so both are same means, okay, then the authentication approves, then it will be working correctly. This is the first step. The next step would be the extract. Once this is done, what it will do is, okay, it will extract and it will store the all the data. So whatever data is coming through the layout services response, it will be set in the editing data service through the editing data services. So it will be extract and stash this particular experience editor data. And what it will do is, okay, this is the second route which I am talking about. There are the three routes, right? The first route is the editing render. Okay, that is render API route. And second one is the data service, right? That is the data API route. So once it is stash the data in the editing data services, and the third step is enable Next.js preview mode. This is the one important feature, inbuilt feature, which is there in the Next.js. So Next.js has the inbuilt preview mode features. Jump here, come back over there. So preview mode is a built-in feature of the Next.js. This is purposefully meant for CMS features like Experience Editor. So this is particularly developed for the editing editors like CMS editors. So for our case in Sitecore, we have the Experience Editor. This is purposefully meant for Experience Editor. This integrating Next.js apps with the Experience Editor is depending on this feature. Definitely, it is depending on this feature only, because once it is enabled the preview mode. So if it is coming over there, if it is enabled the preview mode, what it will do is it will create one cookie. So that is the preview mode cookie, and then it will request into the page route. That is the third routing API. That is the page route API. So that page route API, what it will do is, okay, it will be getting and fetching the request from the editing render middleware, and what data will be passing over from here is, so it will be passed the route. Route means, okay, for our case here, this is the item ID. This item ID is this one. The item name is Jaipur event. So this item ID and the item name will be passing as the route, passing in the route. So it will be the one parameter in the page request, and the second one is the preview mode cookie. So that will be coming over there. The preview mode cookie will be passing through the editing render data middleware. So once it is going here, so it will be the pages, the page route where it is residing. It will be in the pages path.tsx. Pages, there is a path.tsx. See, here the very important one, I already told about that. We have the ease editing parameter. So that is very much required here. So in the layout service, if you see the layout service, we have the page editing true. So which means this is the editing data. So this particular value itself is saying, okay, this is the editing data. This is the page editing. So in the page.tsx, it is fetching from the layout data. This is the service data. In the context, it is the page editing. If the editing, if this is the editing value, then it will be creating the context for the editing component factory. Okay. So because if it is not editing means it is a normal page data. Normal page data means, okay, it will be going directly with the component factory. But here it is a separate, because this is the editing data. That's why it is creating the context from the editing component factory. So once we have the page route and it will be coming here, then what it will do is we have the route, and we have the route path, and we have the preview mode cookie, and what it will do next. So next it will go into the page props factory. That page props factory is residing over here. Library, page props factory, and index.tx. So here we have the get server side props context static. So it depends on the SSR or SSG. And we have the three plugins: component properties, normal mode, preview mode. This is the preview mode is the added advantage here in the Next.js. So what it will do is, in the preview mode, it will whenever it is a Next.js preview mode in the sense, yes. So then we have to go and fetch the data from the editing data service, right? We already set the data, but we have to get the data from the editing data service. Yeah. So editing data service, we are getting the data. Okay, so the data would be the site, local, layout data, dictionary data. So whatever data it is there, okay, it will be fetching and return the values. So going here, so we have done with this. So once the request comes here, it will be validating the editing secret, and then it will extract and stash the experience editor into the editing data services set data. Then it will be enable the Next.js preview mode. Then the request page route. So it will be requesting the page route, and the page route will be getting all the route path and the preview mode cookie. And if it is the preview mode cookie, then it will go into the preview mode plugin.ts. Plugin folder, preview mode ts. And preview mode ts, what it will do is it is extracting the data from the editing data services. And here we have one thing, because we already implemented. Here they implemented the cache mechanism as well. Here in this, whenever it is coming here, it will go into the data API route. The data API route is where it is residing as API editing data and key.ts. Okay. So what it will do is it will create one key whenever it is coming the first request. Okay, it will create the key and it will store it in the editing data middleware. So here also it will store. This is only working for the storage purpose, editing data cache. So once it is stored, so whenever we requested, if it is any change occurs, the key will be changing. If no changes means okay, the key will not change. So it is taking the data from the cache itself. So it will not render the data newly for every request. So it is the caching mechanism also here implemented. And this is the one thing editing data disk cache. To be honest, okay, I don't know exactly what purpose this is, but somehow I read why the editing data disk cache is. This is acting as a serverless function whenever we deploy the things into the Vercel. Vercel is the one deployment option, right? Okay, so during that Vercel option, okay, this editing data disk cache will be working as a serverless function. So this is how it is working, and I just go through. Yeah. So the render API route means this one. What it will do is it handles the post request from the Sitecore editor using logic encapsulated in the middleware. Middleware is editing data render. This one is the middleware, editing render middleware. Route option is we already configured in the server side rendering engine endpoint URL. I already showed that into that. So data API route is so whenever the data is extracted here in the editing data services, so it will be stored the data into the cache. So for storing the data and fetching the data, we use the data API route. It is a dynamic Next.js API route responsible for handling storage and retrieval of data from the Sitecore. Here the data middleware is editing data middleware. Here this is the render middleware. That's why render API route. This is the data middleware. That's why this is the editing data middleware. So data API route. This is the editing data middleware. This is the page route. Page route is nothing. I already told we have the optional cache route mechanism implemented in the Next.js. So we have the page route. Page route will fetch the page path and the Next.js cookies as well. So depending on that, okay, it will fetch the data and it will render back to the HTML here, and it will render back in the experience editor. So this is how it is working. There are so whenever we think about this experience editor, we should think about these three API routes. One is a render API route, data API route, page route. This is how this mechanism works. And so the core part is the JSS editing secret. So this is the core part. So I'm going to show, I think, okay, we have running out of time. I will show that in the debug quickly. So in the environment file, if you wanted to debug something, if you wanted to see, and you can enable this. Okay, normally it will disable. So if we if we enable this particular line in a debug Sitecore JSS and Sitecore JSS layout, then it will you can debug the things. Yeah, I'm going to show, but I don't know. So how this terminal will help. Let me try one more time with this Windows PowerShell because this is the last thing. Okay, I'm going to show. All that I want to do is I'll just okay. So We already enabled the debug, right? Here we have the experience editor. We have the experience editor. Successful. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to reload this. See, while reloading, yeah, luckily it is working here. We have to focus on, this is the logs, okay, which is storing it here. First thing is Sitecore JSS editing render middleware start. So editing render middleware is this one. This is the render middleware. Okay, editing render middleware starts. What it will do is it will fetch the data because the JSS token is validated. Okay, it is a success. Then it will fetch the data and it will store somewhere, right? So the next step is the page route. Page route, it is going as a Jaipur event. See, this is our page route. So this page route will be fetching from here. And then this is the request, JSS editing request is happening. And what it will do is it will store the data. Fetching data dictionary. Yeah, so yeah, here. It's very hard to find the things. Okay, so editing, storing, JSS editing, storing, editing data. So the while storing, it has the key. See, this key will be passing here. So it will be stored where it will store editing data middleware it will store. Okay, so whenever we are fetching, okay, again, once again, it will be fetching from the same API key only. Retrieving editing data. See, retrieving editing data is happening over here. So see, so this is how it is working. Okay, it is clearly showing, okay, whenever we copy and paste somewhere, we can see it very clearly. So here I'm giving you the sign and tips, okay, how it is working. So first it will start with the render middleware start, and then it will pass to the page route. And once the page route is going, okay, the cookie also along with, this is the kind of a cookie. The cookie will be along, travel along with this. Once it is done, it will be it will be confirming that this is the Next.js preview mode, then preview mode plugin will do. So parallelly, what it will do is it will storing the data somewhere and fetching the data. So this is happening like this only. So this is the one I wanted to show through the debug. Okay, so this is happening correctly. So that's it. Okay, we come to the end of the session, and so I hope some people now get to know how the experience editor is working, and what are the different routes are available, and how the data is passing, and how the data is fetching from the editing data services. And this is the main agenda. So I wanted to show this. I can show that from the first point of view, but some people know the JSS as well, right? They also requested first to start with the JSS application small setup, and then if we show this, okay, that would be really helpful for understanding this. So that's why I did it. I hope I did it in the right way. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Rinku and Sumit, for presenting this in this